Hi guys, this is a tutorial on how to do averages in Microsoft Excel. Now, this is mixing in with our tutorials on how to add up and multiply because we're basically doing division here. But division in Excel is just a simple thing, unlike multiplication where you can do lots of different functions. But we're just going to work out the averages, and there's some really nice techniques that you can use to quickly work out averages. So here we've got three identical tables, but I'm going to show you different ways on working out the averages on each different one. So here we have the cake sales for January, February and March. We've got the item, so we've got the cakes, we've got the January sales, the February sales, the March sales and the average sales, and we want to work this out. Along the bottom we just have a total, which I've put some formulas to add all these up. If you don't know how to add up numbers in Microsoft Excel, I highly recommend you watch my tutorial on how to, because it shows you a few great ways of adding up numbers in Excel. But anyway, we want to work out this column, the average sales. Now, if you don't know, the average, if you want to find an average of, say, 3 numbers, you add the numbers up and divide them by 3 because you've added up 3 numbers. So if we were to find the average for the January, February and March sales of the Victoria sponge cake, we would add the January sales up, the February sales up, the March sales, and divide it by 3, and we'd get the average sales. Now, if you have watched my previous videos, you'll start to get an idea of how to construct this formula. So we want to first type in equals. Now, unlike adding up numbers, you don't need to type in sum because we're not only just adding, but we're going to be dividing as well. So we don't type in sum. We just go straight into our open bracket. We then add these 3 numbers up. So it's C5 plus D5 plus E5. We then close the bracket. That's the first part of our equation. Our next part is to divide it by 3. Now I've just put a little 3 down in here, this box, so we can divide it by a cell instead of just a fixed number, because I also want to show you exact cell referencing. So we're going to hit divide. Now when you're dividing Microsoft Excel, you have to do the / and that just means divide. If we were to divide it by that, but not use the brackets, then we would get a totally different number because of BODMAS and whatever. But keep the addition bracketed, and then put a / for divide. We want to divide B11. We can just click it and it'll come up there. Then we press enter. Now, if we were to drag this down like we would in multiplication, we get these. We get the first one, which says div/0. And what that's saying is you're trying to divide by 0. Now what happens is when you drag down the thing is it automatically assumes that you want to do the row below it. So yes, it would add up these numbers and that would be great, but also it would move this one down a row as well. So it would think that we want to add up them and divide it by this here, and we've got 0 there. And on this one it's thinking it's in that cell, this cell here, which is these merged cells, which is this. What we need to do is we need to tell Excel that we want to keep these, it to keep adding these, but we want this to stay the same. So let's just delete these. In this, we know that we don't want these. We want these to change because they're our criteria, but we don't want this to change. So just click behind the B there, and then type F4. And then press enter. Now you'll see when we click back on it that there's these $signs behind and in front of the B, and that's absolute cell referencing. That means that if we drag these down, these will change, but it'll still keep that. So if we drag this down, it's added all these up, but still divided that, and for this it's added all of these up, but still divided by that. We can then go on to add these up to get our average total sales. Now, on this one, we're going to do a different style of formula, and this is the actual average one. It's slightly easier than this one because you only really do one stage. So we click here, and we click equals, like our formula. But instead of adding them up straight away, we type in average. And there's a formula on Excel which works out the average. We then open our bracket, and like when you add up numbers, we do J5. But it's, again, there's more than two numbers, so we do a semicolon. We end with L5. Now this semicolon is saying it wants to add up all the numbers from there to there, so it's included this one. If there was just two numbers, then we'd put an addition for there, but because we want to add up three numbers, we just type that in. We then close the bracket and press enter, and it's worked it out. And because we're not dividing it by anything, Excel's already solving it, or already doing the average, we can just simply drag it down, and it'll be fine. And then we can go on to do this one. Now this is probably the easiest way of doing it because it's the quickest, and like I do with like I've shown you before, we can use AutoSum. Now you click on here, you can simply click the drag down, press average. It assumes you want to average these numbers, press enter, and then you can just drag these down and then work out the addition. This has been a tutorial on how to do averages on Excel. I hope it's helped you out and shown you a few different ways of being able to do it. If you have any video requests for other tutorials, say on Excel, PowerPoint, Word, Access, please leave a comment down below, or you can look in the description for my social network links where you can go on Facebook and ask me, or Twitter or whatever. But for now, thanks for watching, I appreciate it.